Hello everyone and welcome to FPL Stats. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate the love, guys. So today I'll be talking about teams with the best upcoming fixtures from an attacking point of view. But before I begin, I'll start by reviewing my Game Week 4 performance. I don't think I did too badly, guys. I got 64 points, which was above the 57 points, which was the average. But I was hoping for more, and the reason I didn't get more was because I was the one dumbass who didn't have Aguero as his captain. But you live and you learn. And then, guys, like I said, my main focus is on the attacking end of the spectrum. Obviously, the first thing I did was I looked at the fixture difficulty rating, and I found that Bournemouth and Burnley have the best FPL fixture difficulty rating, each with 6 for their next 3 games. So maybe having attacking options from these guys is not such a bad idea. Other teams that made it to this list were Southampton, Spurs, and Liverpool, each with an FPL difficulty rating of 8. Obviously, Aston Villa and Norwich, FPL don't have enough history, so this doesn't make sense for them to be on this list, but they made it. And then the next thing I looked at, guys, was teams with the best performance versus their next 3 opponents. So Liverpool were at the top of this table because last season versus Newcastle at home and Chelsea away, they averaged 2.5 goals per match. And over a 5-year period in the same fixtures, they averaged 2 goals per match. They were followed by Manchester City, because Manchester City is always on this list for some strange reason when it comes to the attacking end of the spectrum, even with the defending end of the spectrum. I mean, that's why they're champions. So versus the next 3 opponents, last season they averaged 2.5 goals per match, and over 5 years they were only averaging 1.4. But we have to understand that Pep Guardiola has only been in the team for 3 years. So if I had looked at this over a 3-year period, I'm sure this was going to be a higher number than 1.4. Bournemouth made it to the list again, guys. They're representing here. So last season they scored 2.3 goals per match versus their next 3 opponents, and over a 5-year period they average 1.8. That's not bad. Shout out to Bournemouth. Shout out to these guys. And then obviously Spurs, Southampton, Chelsea, United, and Arsenal also made it to the list. The highest of them being Spurs with 2.3 last season and almost 2 over a 5-year period. Maybe having attacking options from these guys is not such a bad idea. And then I obviously looked at teams with the best performance for the season in their past 3 games. So Manchester City were at the top of this table because over the past 3 games they've been banging in 3 goals per match. It's like halagasha. I mean, and then they were followed by Liverpool with 2.7, and then Chelsea, West Ham, and Leicester. So maybe having representative from these guys is not such a bad idea. Maybe it's not. And then I looked at Sharpshooters, guys. So when I say Sharpshooters, I'm talking about teams that take a lot of shots on target. First, I looked at teams that take a lot of shots on target versus their next 3 opponents. And guess who's at the top of that table? Liverpool is at the top. So versus their next 3 opponents, last season they took 7 shots on target. Obviously, Sheffield United were not there. So this is for 2 teams, and over a 5-year period they've been averaging 5.3 shots on target. And then they were followed by Spurs with 6.7 last season and 5.7 over a 5-year period. And then obviously City's gotta make it to this list. City always makes it to these attacking lists and the defending lists. So last season versus their next 3 opponents, City averaged 6.5 shots on target. Obviously Norwich wasn't there, so this number would be more. It would be more, much more, because I reckon they're gonna take a lot of shots against Norwich. And then over a 5-year period they averaged almost 5. And then Southampton, United, Burnley, and Arsenal also made it to the list. And then obviously, guys, you have to take into account this season's performance when it comes to shots on target. Again, City is at the top of this table, followed by West Ham United, well tied number 1 with West Ham United. They've been taking 7 shots on target over their past 3 games in this season. And then they're followed by Arsenal, who have been taking a lot of shots. And then they were followed by Liverpool, who've been taking 6 on target, and Chelsea, who've been taking 6 on target this season. So having representative from these guys is cool. Another person who made it, well, another team who made it into this list were Norwich. And the nice thing about Norwich, guys, those 5 shots, you know who takes all of those 5 shots. That's all I gotta say. Now, to summarize, guys, this is easy. Liverpool attackers will be essential. Manchester City attackers will be the key to open the door. Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, they can offer you some options. I mean, if you're looking at the Aubameyang, Abraham, Kane combination, you might get something. You know, it all depends on how you value. What is value for money for you. And then Southampton and Bournemouth, they can be the difference, especially Bournemouth, because versus their next 3 opponents last season, they averaged 2.3, and over a 5-year period, they averaged almost 2 goals per match. So thank you guys for watching my video. Thank you so much for the love. I hope you dig it. Peace.